Transporting hazardous materials is serious business. As a driver who hauls hazardous materials for a living, you have an important role. And it's critical to the safety and security of the hazardous materials transportation process that you know and understand what's required and be trained to get the job done right. Everyone knows that hazardous materials are very important to us. We need them to fuel our cars, to heat our homes, to make many of the products we use every day. But hauling hazardous materials, or hazmat, is not an easy job. If something goes wrong on the road, the consequences can be devastating. There can be loss of life, damage to the environment, cleanup costs, not to mention fines and possible jail time. So it's your responsibility to make sure the hazmat you haul arrives safely and securely at its destination. Are you up to it? Let's review the requirements to see that you are. Hazardous materials are categorized into 9 hazard classes, most of which are further broken down into divisions. Divisions provide more detail about the material's hazards. For example, Class 2, gases, has 3 divisions. 2.1 is flammable gas, 2.2 is non-flammable compressed gas, and 2.3 is poison gas. Depending on the hazard class, some materials are further divided into packing groups. Group 1 indicates great danger, Group 2, medium danger, and Group 3, minor danger. Some hazard classes do not have packing groups. These include Class 2, gases, Class 7, radioactive, ORMD materials, some Class 9, miscellaneous hazardous materials, and some Division 6.2, infectious substances. In addition to showing a level of danger involved, the packing group is used to determine what type of packaging is required. All of this information, hazard class, division, and packing group, can be found in the Hazardous Materials Table, located in the Hazardous Materials Regulations, or HMR. The Hazardous Materials, or Hazmat Table, is a list of all the proper shipping names which can be used to describe materials transported in the U.S. and provides essential information and guidelines on how they must be shipped. The Hazmat Table also lists the hazard class or division, UN or NA identification number, the packing group, required labels, and special provisions that correspond with each proper shipping name. Other columns of the table provide HMR section references for packaging information and maximum quantities for shipping by air and rail. 2 fundamental appendices used with the Hazmat Table are Appendix A and Appendix B. Appendix A lists materials that present an environmental hazard when shipped in certain quantities. These are referred to as hazardous substances and have reportable quantities, or RQs. Materials that could harm the marine environment when transported by ship are listed in Appendix B and are referred to as marine pollutants.
True or false? The Hazardous Materials Table lists all of the proper shipping names that can be used to transport hazmat in the U.S. True. The table also provides important information and guidelines on how a hazardous material must be shipped. True or false? The Hazardous Materials Table has 2 appendices. True. Appendix A lists hazardous substances that may present an environmental hazard when transported in certain quantities. Appendix B lists materials that are considered marine pollutants.